Weird place for a pry bar. No, I get more distressed by the fact that I'm not wanted. But it's not even that. It's the picky bastard who's not wanted by who he wants. Not stupid enough, not smart enough to figure out that maybe I've been wanted by who I need. But I mean, I simply don't have the time. There's 2 hours exercise sessions here, and then 90 minutes to go when I go out and work out. It's 3 hours and 30 minutes. Three hours and 30 minutes, 4 days a week. It comes out to 14 hours. So it's 14 hours, 40 hours a week, 45 hours a week. I rarely ever get 40 flat up hours. Usually some overtime involved. So it's 56 hours a week. Sleep 7 hours a day. 7 days a week, that's 490 hours. Is that right? That's not right, is it? It's 49. God, brain's all fried. So 105 hours a week sleeping and working. So I live in 63 hours. There's 169 hours a week. Something like that. So I got 65 hours for myself. Sounds like a lot, right? 65 divided by 7. A little bit over 9 hours. Take out an hour for eating. So it's 8 hours a day for yourself. Take out an hour each day for hygiene and prep. So that's 7 hours to yourself. Seven hours a day. What do I do with that 7 hours a day? I guess I do have, kind of pisses me off, I get less than a third of a day. You forgot the travel. I did forget the travel, didn't I? Take out an hour each day for travel. 6 hours a day. 6 hours of free time a day. There's got to be something I'm not thinking about also. So what did I say? Hygiene, food preparation. I call it hygiene, but hygiene and you know, preparing your clothes and putting your clothes on and cleaning yourself. It's like, that takes you an hour? I was like, well, it takes 15 minutes to shower. It takes about 15 minutes to clean the contact lenses, brush the teeth. That's 30 minutes. It takes about 10 minutes to dress in the 3 different outfits I might wear in a day. Workout clothes, bed clothes, work clothes. Yes, I wear 3 outfits. 2 outfits on days off. Nope, still 3 outfits. Workout clothes, cardio clothes, bed clothes. Although I only have to put on the socks once a day. It takes me 5 minutes per dress outs period, session, unless I'm wearing the house clothes, then it takes like a minute. So that's where I come up with a generous estimate of an hour. Food prep always takes about 30 minutes to an hour. Even if it's already pre-made, and all I have to do is throw it in the microwave. You still put time in to wash dishes. Food prep also includes eating, so it takes me about 15-30 minutes to eat a meal. When I'm at work and I make my oatmeal peanut butter, it still takes 15 minutes. It takes like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to eat it. But I have to stir it, get the utensils out, clean the utensils. Six hours a day. Free time. In my 6 hours of free time, there is 15 minutes to check emails, 15 minutes for work emails. That's 30 minutes right off the bat. Then something might have come up that I had to deal with. So that counts as research time. So there's about 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week for research. So that comes out to 5 hours of free time a week. Then comes the downloading and organization sessions, because that comes with the research too. Whether it be pirating or it be legal, because even when I do things legally, you got to go to Steam, download the thing. While you're doing that, you're going to do research on the thing you're getting ready to play. Most downloads can average between, I think the maximum, the worst case scenario, 30 minutes. So download and organization takes about 30 to 45 minutes a day. So that whittles me down to about 4 hours and 15 minutes. So, that's how much I would have to dedicate to a significant other. 4 hours and 15 minutes a day. Is that how much time you have for your parents? Sometimes they can take If I had to average in the parents, they take about anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour a day. So now, like I said, a lot of things start to make sense. It's like, where's all my free time go? It's like, well, you've only got 3 hours a day. 3 to 4.5 hours a day. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, another overpriced home. No, I guess, like I said, sitting here thinking about it, 4.5 hours a day. So if you work 20 hours a week, yeah, get some of that back. Damn it. What would your average person do with 20, like, so I get 20 hours back over 7 days, yes. So that comes out to 14, 6, 7 into 20. So 2.8 hours a day you get back. Right, that's just from the work. What also goes down is your well, you still have to travel if you're working 5 days a week. So you still have, so it doesn't affect your travel too much. So yeah, 2.8 hours back into the bank. So you went from having 4.5 hours to having 6.8. What's 0.8? What's 0.8 of an hour? It is 48 minutes. Six hours and 48 minutes. 7 hours and 15 minutes. 7 hours and 12 minutes. That's a lot. Yeah, it is. That's enough time to considering maybe taking a class. Seven and a half hours a day to do my own thing. And that really depends on how I would do my 20 hours, my required 20 hours of working per week. With me, I'd want to get it done as fast as possible. So I do 2 12s and just eat the overtime, or I do 2 10s. I don't like the idea of coming in 4 days a week just to be working 4 hours a day, or 5 days a week working 4 hours a day. 5 hours a day for 4 days? Maybe. 3/8. Man, what would I do? Working 3 days a week? For 12 hours? Or excuse me, that's 36. Sorry, you would just have to do 2. Then yeah, I'd fix Saturday, Sunday. You'd work 2 12s. Yep, Saturday, Sunday. I'd have Monday through Friday all to myself. Oh my God. Take my classes Monday through Thursday. Do my studying on Friday. Work my job on Friday, Saturday. Or Saturday, Sunday. Do my workout. I might add an extra workout day. I do core and arms. I'd start trying planks and do bicep curls, triceps, obliques. Wouldn't take that long, about an hour. And of course I'd have to work in my push-ups for the chest. Do chest 3 times a week. Well, I mean push-ups 3 times a week. Yeah, it's doable. What would you study? I don't think I would go for a degree anymore. I think it would just be maybe an online class, that something weird. I don't care about degrees anymore, because the one I got ain't doing nothing for me. What I might do instead is pursue some kind of technical certification. Get a pilot's license, take a martial art. Take a free survey course, but I, still get graded to see if I was good enough to pass it. Take organic chemistry, abstract algebra. Maybe I study the theory of economics. I take physical chemistry. Machine learning, not machine learning, neural networks. Robotics. something really abstract like mathematics. Get a certification in actuarial science. You doing what? Yeah. Instead, now I'm just gonna work at a job that doesn't really change or challenge me in any way. Do that till I retire. When I say retire, I mean I can work less. And then when I work less, just find a part-time job, I guess. So that's the plan. The reality is I'll probably be working a 40-hour job until I turn 75. Damn. No, I was supposed to long shoot it and then put my foot up, but I just not really feeling it. Yeah, I'll probably working a 40-hour job till I'm 75. And then when my health can no longer keep up with the demands of the job, I might try to retire, or I might try to live off of savings in retirement until I got old enough until I got to a point where maybe my health problems made my life a burden, or until I ran out of money. And then it's assisted suicide. Either in this country, by that time, maybe they'll have their head out of their ass, or in another country. Working till you're 75. I can't see any other financial way of doing it. By the time I reach the retirement age, they'll raise the age of Social Security. To get the maximum Social Security benefit, they'll raise it to 70. If I can work long enough to get the pension, go from there. So by the time you turn 70, yeah, by the time I turn 70, I might get 5 years to do whatever the hell I want. I don't know how addled my brain's going to be by then. I mean, I'm kind of going down the tubes now as it is. You heard me trying to do the math. In the old days, I'd just spit out the numbers, bam, bam, bam. But now it's just like, carry the 7, do the 1. Four and a half hours per day for yourself. Yep. I imagine those people that sleep less than I do get more hours for themselves. But there's going to be a crash day, so that's why your body still will try to fight and give you, like for some people, they just forget Sunday. here, we walk over there, we walk back. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it that way. We'll start our run here. still feeling like this when the weather cools down to the 60s, I got a problem. Monday felt okay. I mean, I still kind of struggled, but I got to that part on Durango. I was running down hills. I said, well, time to pick up the pace. And I was just not like super sprinting, but still fast for me. Never been a fast runner. Can't get any faster. When I first started doing this, maybe. Had I run in my youth, I probably would have been better at it. So what does your average kid have as far as their daily, how many hours per day do they have to themselves? Kid that doesn't have the parents from hell, like a kid without hardly any parental involvement, probably has 12 hours a day. A little bit under 12 hours a day. A kid with a lot of parental involvement may have as much as I do, like 4 hours, maybe 8. So I was just thinking about all the stuff I did when I was a kid. Like, I mean, there was Boy Scouts, there was football, a lot of video games. Holy cow, there were a lot of video games. And sometimes I'd be reading. Basically, like I said, you live right down the street from the local library. I'd go down there. What's that smell? The smell of the library. Yeah. I miss the smell of school too. Whiteout, rubber erasers, books, that weird floor racks that they use, wood polish. I don't miss chalk dust. I never liked the way it smelled. It doesn't smell like much, but what it does smell like, the little much that it does smell like, it doesn't smell very good. Stale. The guy at work was saying, you don't miss school, you just miss blank. And I was like, there's a lot of social aspects you're right, I don't miss. This would be the weekend we would have a camp out. I'd go to I'd get my bags packed tomorrow. Friday would be the day after the school. Friday, I start packing my bag. Thursday, start packing my bag. Friday, after school, double check. And then We go at 7 o'clock. We would go to the school. I'd go up to the school, and then we'd be waiting for the. We'd have the parents take us down there. It depended on what kind of camp out it was. Some camp outs, it was Friday night. It would start. We drive out there. We set up camp, and we stay a couple of nights. But for the most part, it would be like Saturday morning. You'd wake up at 6, drive over there, set up your camp. It just felt like it was a lot longer, didn't it? You spend all day Saturday setting up camp and doing the thing. Spend the night, and then Sunday. No, I guess it was Friday then. Some camp outs, it was just Friday night. We'd drive out there, stay overnight, have all day Saturday to mess around, go to bed that night. I started really appreciating the parents all of a sudden. Sunday you had to be out of there, so the way it worked, we get up at like 6, turn up the camp, cleaning up the camp, loading everything in the car, get on the road, and you'd be back by the afternoon. Then you put up all your camp gear if you were responsible. Otherwise, you're just leaving that bag getting all nasty and man musty. Unless there's your Boy Scout uniform, because you needed that. And you come home and spend the afternoon at 5 o'clock just doing your own thing. A lot of the camping happened during the summer. When summer came around, you only had one big camp, and that was Constantine. Unless you were in the Cub Scouts, then you went to Clemens Ranch, Cherokee. We would start camping out around September. About September to May was the camp season. And in May it was always the couldn't call it jamboree, because the jamboree was the big thing that you spent like $400 for. You go out to Orlando, Florida or something, and you get together all these Boy Scout troops from around the world. Never went to one, never had the money. Scouting is expensive, but you want to do everything. Philmont was in April, I think. Back then, I think it was $129 for the 14 days. That doesn't include your backpack, your hiking boots, your other gear that you had to get, like rain gear and everything, food. Even if I had the money, I had the time, so I just didn't. I would have had to train for Philmont. Like my dumb ass would have gone out there out of shape, and I'd have been like that one dude who was complaining the whole time he was there. So I got rashes everywhere. No, my feet start hurting. Because I think you're hiking like 14 miles a day. Mine has 3 courses, 3 trails with degrees of severity. My brother, I think he went to Philmont 3 times. My brother was more industrious than I was. He's definitely more of an entrepreneur. I wasn't going to go to Philmont unless somebody told me. They made it sound good. But like me saving up the money, I was just like, eh. They went to Big Bend in the summer. I didn't go to that one. I didn't go to that one because I was supposed to go to FCA camp. And I didn't go to that either. I mean, I got to a point where I was just burned out. I didn't want to do anything. I was about 17, 18. Now I shook off the burnout for 1 year. This is my senior year. I'm fired up for everything. And then after that, I was gung ho in my senior year. Easily got into college. Was gonna go to college, be something big, you know. My dreams, I think, they're gonna be world conquerors. I didn't think I was going to take over anything. I just thought I was going to do really great things. And I didn't take a gap year. None of that stuff the white privileged kids do. I went straight from graduating in May. 2 weeks later, I take summer classes. I started taking summer classes. For about 2 years. Ran out of money, driving a shitty car, just couldn't get it together. And that went on for about 4 or 5 years. Man, no, I was just thinking about it. Just how on earth did I ever finish all this stuff? I was like, yeah. 20 years. So maybe you don't want to tell them that part. No. I got out of college debt free, but it took me 20 years to do it. The way I was going to work it was, I was going to get a tech certification, go to work for a little bit, gather up some money, use that to get a 4-year degree. And what happened was, I started working on the tech certification, ran out of money, went back to take more tech certification, the tech verifications changed, went back again to get more tech certifications. Finally nailed down the popular one in 2000 with it was 4 years of that. And then in 2000 I got my Cisco. Went to interviews and just so many assholes. Well, it's great that you got that, but we were looking for a guy who has this, and this. And I was just like, all right, but you're gonna pay him this much money. I was like, well, I'm not going to say good luck to it. I was like, you guys are stupid. I see why you're not going to fill this position. I'm glad I don't work for you. But I was just mad. Like, how dare they not hire me? I was like, he was a blessing in disguise, man. So I was ejected, pissed off, couldn't find steady employment. And after that, it was just take a class here, take a class there, got a job, schedule changed, so you had to drop a lot of classes. It was drop, pick up, drop, pick up, drop, pick up. Like, when people ask me what was I doing when all this history was going on in America, I was going to school. September 11th. September 11th, had the Cisco certification, had to get other certifications, so I was working on my A+. Whereas I could go on 2 or 3 interviews, I wasn't getting anything after September 11th, and so I was just working any job I could. A lot of shitty temp jobs, and it is hard to go to school where you're working temp jobs. But yeah, when Obama got elected president, I was like this. I was running around campus. I just figured out how to jog. I was running. And yeah, I was running around Richland. I just finished class. I had voted, I think, that day. I had my radio. Back when I used to have a radio and headphones, I was listening to the election returns. And I wasn't excited per se, because I always get excited during the primaries. And then what happens is I start seeing the election cycle, and the stuff they were saying in the primaries, they keep saying the same thing over and over again during the election cycle. So it really doesn't sound as true. It starts to sound hollow and scripted after a while. So I had voted for the primaries, but then I saw how you did Hillary Clinton, and I was like, oh boy, he just tossed her to the side. Oh wait, they're making a deal. Oh, I thought. After the primary, he became just another politician. I realized he wasn't going to be what everybody thought he was going to be. He was just going to be the first black dude in the office. He could do no wrong. I knew he was going to get elected. And I was just waiting, because I was like, I've been wrong before. I was like, Americans aren't this stupid. I was like, they are, but Obama was popular. When the Democrats have somebody with charisma, the Republicans can't beat them. And unfortunately, charisma is a once-in-a-lifetime thing when it comes to the Democrats. I say unfortunate because they used to be really on their side, but now it doesn't matter. So, I knew Trump was going to be president. I knew it because that was the last primary I voted in. I said, yeah, I don't like Hillary. I haven't liked Hillary. I didn't like her in the 90s. I don't like her now. I was like, nothing changed about this person. So I was just looking for anybody besides her. And Bernie Sanders came along. Man, I was excited. I said, here's the guy with some charisma. Here's the guy that sounds like he's gonna shake some stuff up. I was like, I know he won't, but it'll be it'd be kind of neat to see what'll happen if he gets in there. The Democrats rigged the system against him, and I said, okay, I'm done with both of y'all. Rooted for Hillary to lose, knew she was gonna lose. And she had that fainting spell. I said, it's over. Hillary Clinton has no charisma. One thing I didn't like about her, she seemed like she had the ambition. She had the ambition of Joseph Stalin. Fortunately, I don't think she had his ruthlessness, but still, she might have had a worryable fraction of his ruthlessness. Just couldn't get behind her. So I sat that one out. Happened in school. Katrina hit, I was between jobs and between school. No, I was in school, excuse me. I was taking math class. I think I was taking pre-cal. I was taking chemistry, and I couldn't, or biology, and I couldn't study either one. I had to wind up dropping it because I had a house full of folks from New Orleans and nowhere to study. Man, yeah, that was rough. But I mean, it's always been rough. Probably should have left home a long time ago, but then I never would have got my degree because I've been constantly trying to look for a place to live, and I probably would have taken online classes and taken on student debt with the promise of a better job with a degree. I think it was going to stop a little bit. No, whole time. Not a cloud in the sky. It was windy. Doesn't make you a better person, doesn't make you stronger. Just wears you out. I might think differently if I ever have a day where, and I'm never going to do that again, but like it's race day and all the cold weather, the rain and the wind and the bad streets have prepared me for this day. That's not what happened at all. It was more like I was ready for the day, but I wasn't ready for all those people. And I spent the entire half marathon running around people, so I didn't get a good pace. I don't think I'm ever going to do another half marathon again. I think that ship has sailed. Sometimes I think about doing the turkey trot. And what'll cure me of that real quick is running around these streets. And I was like, now you see how bad you've had it today? Imagine that times 100. Thanksgiving, I'll just do my yearly tradition, which is I go up to Rich Man's Territory and walk around 6 miles. Not because I want to see them, it's because it's so nice and quiet over there. Like there's nothing happening. Either they're with their relatives somewhere, or they had Thanksgiving earlier in the day. Those houses are just empty. Like I don't see anybody. Every once in a while I might see somebody actually out there talking to each other, but for the most part they're not there. I don't know, maybe they're there and I just never noticed, but those people, man, the area is scenic. It looks nice, but it's empty. I guess that kind of sums up the rich in general. Looks nice, but empty. And I keep thinking if I became rich, I'd have all this free time. And I'm wondering how much free time do rich people really have. When you have an addiction to money, I think you have less free time than I do. See, I never saw it as an addiction to money. I just thought it was having money. But no, it's like everything in your life, money consumes you. I think about money a lot too, but I don't have any, so I put it out of my mind. There's other things, and because I don't have any money, I work. But rich people, I don't know, it's just a little different. I remember watching a documentary about the kid who inherited his wealth, and he was bored and depressed. He was just trying to figure out what to do with himself, so he decided to write a documentary. Hired a fancy documentary crew, or he's got the money to do all that stuff, and the money and the time, and he puts it all together. And then one of his friends he put in the film as a subject sues him. I don't think he represented me properly in the film, so then he puts that in there. And all his friends are having a party. Because apparently when you're rich and you get sued, that's like breaking your cherry. I'm like, okay. So we had a big party, happy first lawsuit party. 10 grand easily on a party. They don't, just 10 grand, whatever. Takes me almost a year to save up 10 grand. They blow it in one evening. That's the disconnect right there. You're busting your ass all year, 365 to get that, because $10,000 is not a lot of money, but it's just but when everybody gets paid shit, it is a lot of money. You have to go through a lot of labor to get it. Whereas rich people, it's just like, it's just $10,000. Some rich dudes make that in a second. It takes me a whole year to save it up. Here's 65. That thing I really wanted. I went without it. Didn't party as much, didn't drink as much. Because I was saving up that money. Like I said, one evening they go through that. They go through $10,000 like most people go through. They go through $10,000 the way middle class people might go through it. I was gonna say it's 20 bucks, isn't it? Like, I don't know. With inflation, if you can get $20 a week, that's good budgeting. But I guess with inflation, it's probably, that was back in the 90s when they used to say that. So it's got to be 50 bucks. You get through 50 bucks. I think that's generous. I think if you $50, if you can get through a week with $50, you're okay. You're budget conscious. But if $50 is not enough for you, you got a problem. Because I'm thinking about this as a person who, you know, you make your own lunch, you pay very cheap. Even if I made two, it'd be a big meal and a small meal. Alright, time to go all out. For 4 days this week, all I will have to eat is 2 cups of brown rice and 3 cans of beans. That's it. Because I'm mostly just sitting in front of the computer. I exercise out here. 1,500 calories a day. Just a little bit under that, I guess. Those 3 cans of beans, I think they were 85 cents a can. You can probably get them for less if they were dried and you cooked them yourself. The rice was in a big bag for like $25 a bag, or a 25-pound bag. So you already done bought that stuff. So for like $10. $10, I got 4 days worth of stuff to eat. That leaves me $4. I already got the gas, that was $20, so my gas lasts me for about a month and a half. So let's say it's $10 for me to get through the week. $5 of gas, that's $15. Still leaves me with like $35. And I can't think of what else I would need the money for after that. It's gas and food. And after that, I'm fine. So what about your bills? What about my bills? Pay those off for the first of the month. Oh yeah, besides the beans, there's a pack of crackers. 4 sleeves of crackers. A box of crackers cost you about $5. So there you go, $30 for the week. And the bills come up. Not really. Cable bill I think is paid this week. Your cable is like 100. I don't have a cable bill. I have an internet bill, and the internet phone is like $120, which comes out to about $30 a month, $30 a week. Jesus Christ, is that right? Yeah. Huh, I guess I do have a problem. $30 a week? Yeah. For my internet. Man. Yeah. That doesn't even count your subscription to, Netflix and everything else. All the streaming sites, that comes out to about $40 a month. So your budget needs are a little bit higher then. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I do need the $100 a week to run the household. Maybe they said that after bills, after you paid off everything, you can't get through with $100 a week. There's something wrong with you. And then I agree with that statement. It's like the wind saved the strongest gust for last. Interesting. The money? Yeah, the money. 4 hours. 4 hours a day, yet I'm paying for entertainment that I don't get to use all that much. I think I bought a game this week, or was it last week? Can't remember. I think I bought a comic book too. It was like $3 for a 100-page comic book. I couldn't pass it up. I didn't want to pass it up. $50 a week. I guess after you paid your bills. Yep. I'm gonna have to relook at that. I'm gonna have to recheck that out because they're saying that you can get by on $250 a month, and I'm like, that's not right. Can't be right. I was like, rent alone is I think that's what they were trying to say. They were saying that after you've taken care of everything else in your budget, that must be what they're saying, you need about $250 a month just for maintenance. And that's about right. Yeah, $250 a month for yourself, that's about right. That's not what I spend. Why not? I guess if I take my food budget out of it, like I said, my credit card bill just gets up there. Well, that's because I've had every month it's been something. There was the storm. There was the roof. I guess I didn't have to, actually none of the bathroom doesn't go on the credit card. I wrote checks for that. Bottom line is I got money to spend on a few nice things. I don't really want much anymore. Like, I don't need a fancy car. I don't need a fancy car because I don't drive. If I didn't have to drive to work, I'd never have a, I'd probably have like a little, I'd probably get like a 2-seat CRV or something. I mean, a CRX. Some little tiny piece of shit car that just gets me to point A to B. I might have a Mini Cooper, not the turbo, just a regular old Mini Cooper. Actually, I'm too cheap for that. Yeah, it'd probably be a Honda CRX or whatever the Korean equivalent of that is. So if you didn't have to go to work tomorrow, what would you be doing? Okay, so there is an interesting question. Because I still have to do my 4-hour walk, not 4 hour, my 4 mile walk, and I still have to do the it's still squat day. I'm getting that 4 hours back to work, and 5 hours back to sit and drive too. Like, there are little things I can do to get my days back. If I had a home would give me back 30 minutes. So suddenly I'd have 5 hours to myself. So it takes me 15 minutes to drive out to the 24-hour fitness and 15 minutes to drive back. And then when I get there, I have to put my bags in the locker. Mess with the stuff in the lockers. That's 10 minutes. On top of the 90-minute workout. I don't know, there's probably guys who can work out less time than I can. I used to work out more than that. It was, it was 15 minutes on the treadmill. 15 minutes, it was a cardio sandwich. 15 minutes on the treadmill. 90 minutes to 2 hours to do the workouts. You're flickering on me. What the hell? That's not you. It's these damn lights over here. Anyway, 15 minutes to do the cardio. 90 minutes to 2 hours to do the workouts that I used to do. So I used to do way more machines. And then a 15-minute. It got to be 20 minutes, wasn't it? It was 20 minute. I call it a cardio sandwich. It was a cardio. The workout was the meat. And then the strength training was the meat. And then a cardio at the end, like the bread. So I almost had 2 hour, 3 hour workout sessions. Probably why I've gotten weaker. What were you eating? I think I was eating two meals a day. They were like Spartan meals. I had this rule that I couldn't eat anything bigger than the bowl that I was filling it in, so I was eating my mom's cooking, but I wasn't eating much. And then when I had space in the refrigerator and the money, I was eating brisket, you know, whatever I was eating, a big meat entree, vegetables, and that was pretty much it. I don't think I had bread. I was trying to go all low carb and stuff. No, I take that back. I was eating a chocolate. I took chocolate powder, Greek yogurt, and then I'd put a spoonful of molasses in there. And that you talking about. I made sure it was a fourth of a cup of yogurt, a spoonful of cocoa powder, and then a spoonful of molasses. It was all together. And it was like a really rich protein pudding. Chocolate pudding. Got really lean. Really lean eating nut with carbs. I mean, I did protein and vegetables. Now it's got to be damn near 11 o'clock at night, and you still see all these assholes coming up and down on Hill Lane. But I don't think I could do it. Like I said, if I lived out in the country, I don't know if I'd be able to do all this. I'm pretty sure there's a place I can go to, and I just start running around their little track and go back home. I don't think I'd be living this close to the school, though. Remember, this is a rural place where 5 miles there, 5 miles back. When I take my car, where are you going to park? Didn't think about that. I don't know, maybe they lock up. I don't know if they would lock up everything in the country or not. If I live out in the country, why would I need to run around a track? I'd have my farm. I'd just be doing sprints up and down the big acreage that I got. wouldn't be the same as a track. I was like, hey, chances are I don't give a shit, so I'd adapt to whatever I got. No 24-hour fitness is out in the country. Like I said, I live in the country, so that means I got tons of space. Well, maybe a pack rat, but you can't be a pack rat on an acre of land. Although, well, no, I'm never going to live out in the country. I don't have the money. Rich people took that up too. It's me now. I'm just running on the sidewalk and then I'm running on the street. I think street is just harder to run on. The sidewalk feels like it's got a little bounce to it. do this next time. But next time I'm only doing 6. So, no, I seriously doubt these assholes are going to be done. See what milking these construction projects for way longer than they're supposed to be. They should have been done over the summer. I keep hoping that one day I get myself an accurate body composition thing and it tells me it's like at 180 pounds you're underweight. And it'd be like, oh thank God. It's like, this is why I feel so weak all the time. But I just got the feeling, since I don't work out like I used to, you know, I'm not an athlete. I keep fighting it, but I think I'm supposed to be 160 pounds. And I keep making up the limp big excuses saying I've got 10 pounds extra skin. Probably not. 5 pounds at most. So, right now, I'm almost 26 pounds overweight. 26 pounds overweight, and you know, when people say, oh my God, you lost so much weight. Tell somebody, there's more to go. I don't know, maybe it is 10 pounds extra skin, which means that I'm only 15 pounds overweight. 16 pounds overweight. I say only. 10 pounds extra fat is really not that noticeable. Like Jennifer Lawrence, she comes in rocking about 10-15 pounds over whatever, over what way I guess we would consider her ideal. You know, she looks good with the extra weight. Why do I say that? Because when she gets the extra weight, it goes to her keister. She's got a nice looking keister. Not great, but still nice. How many films have you seen her in? I think a grand total of 2 or 3. Saw her in the X-Men movie. My whole problem with her is she can't convince me that she's anybody else but Jennifer Lawrence. Damn, it's kind of late. Whatever. I guess the night doesn't just belong to me. She can't ever convince me that she's anybody but Jennifer Lawrence. It's not Jennifer Lawrence plays Mystique. It's Mystique is Jennifer Lawrence. She's in the, I think it was the Hunger Games. It's whatever her character is, plays Jennifer Lawrence. You know, like somebody of Meryl Streep's caliber, I don't know who Meryl Streep is. She's played so many different characters that I can't get a beat on who she would be, you know, outside of real life. I mean, or in real life. Because acts like Meryl Streep is acting 24/7. I don't think Meryl Streep exists. I think she's just an empty shell, and it's just like she fills it with whatever role she's doing at that time. That's how you do it. You know, like Kathy Bates. I'm thinking Kathy Bates might be kind of nice in real life, but she plays mean so well. And there's Louise Fletcher. But then I think about the chick that she got too fat to be in Hollywood, but she's actually a pretty great actress. Kathleen Turner, or Catherine Turner, Catherine Turner. Romancing the Stone. You know, she was that girl on Sex and the City before there was a Sex and the City. Never seen an episode, but I got an idea of what people were talking about. What's her name? The main character, what's her name, plays. And then I see Catherine Turner in Serial Mom. She confessed to me that she was fucking crazy. I was like, I don't think she's playing a role. I think she really is like that in real life. I was like, I don't know. And I never saw, I think it was V.R. Warshawski, or P.R. Warshawski. She played this tough one, Roman Wool, and she took the punches, and what do you think about that dog? I think by the end of the year she won't be barking at me anymore. There's a certain point where a dog looks at you and he's like, oh, you're not gonna play along at all, are you? I was like, no, I'm too tired, bub. And the dog's like, whatever, barks a couple of times and then walks off. By the end of the year, I think that dog's gonna be barking at me a couple times and then walking off. To give you an idea how little $10,000 is, $10,000 will get you a block. Get you a sidewalk on your block. $10,000, unfortunately, is how much it usually costs for something to be repaired in the house these days. You could get it for cheaper, but in the long run, you'll be paying the $10,000. Like, you get the guy to do it for $5,000. And then every 5 years, you had to pour in about $500 to $1,000 to unfuck the mess that he made. So at the end of the ball, you're still paying the $10,000. It's just that it's $5,000 now, and then $1,000 maybe a year to fix the mess. I'm in that house and it's like a money pit. I got the foundation fixed, and 5 years later I can proudly say that after the 5 years it has not sunk an inch. But and here's the but, Everything else that wasn't tied into everything else that wasn't raised like the foundation is starting to sink. So I got a driveway that's separating from the rest of the house. I got little spots of concrete here and there that aren't really attached to the house, poured in. Somebody was saving money, and those are starting to fall. The house we live in is always going to have foundation problems. Because, and here's the surprise, everybody in Texas has foundation problems. Because Texas is a giant sponge. If I tell somebody that I live on the Eagle Ford Shale, they're like, one guy says, "That doesn't sound right, buddy." I was like, "This Eagle Ford Shale is in Houston." "Yes, and it extends all the way over to here." You see, about 1 million years ago, Texas was part of the ocean. And over time, the sediment started washing in, and the clay started to settle. And what you're sitting down on top of right now was ocean about 1 million years ago. And it never quite settled. Everywhere I stand, with the exception of a few rocky outcroppings, this is all just one big giant clay sponge. And it gets wet and it dries, it gets wet and it gets dries, and it expands and it contracts. And anything sitting down on top of that waves and buckles. Now some people, they say you can water the foundation, and that helps a little bit. Your part of the wet sponge stays wet, and so it's always bloated out. But if your neighbor doesn't water their foundation, it starts to pull down there. It starts to pull down the foundation, and starts to pull down yours a little bit too. So yes, we're all in this. We're all in this together. You can water your foundation, but at the very edges, you're going to start losing some cohesion from the clay. And the Bible used to talk about in engineering, build your house upon the rock. There are people on the internet who debunk that, but I haven't bothered to expand upon it. Because rock shifts too. In fact, rock shifts worse than clay. And rock is brittle, so rock cracks. Mount Everest is a giant rock, and I wouldn't want to build anything long-lasting on it, because it's stuck between two fault lines, or two tectonic plates, and they keep pushing, and it pushes it upward. So like every 100 years, I think Mount Everest goes up about half 100 feet. It's a mountain that keeps growing. Volcanoes are rock too, and I sure wouldn't tell anybody to build their house upon a rocky foundation. I guess now I see what they're talking about. They're griping about like rock is steady, but rock is not steady, despite what the song may say. So what's the best thing to build your house upon? probably soil with a lot of vegetation. And then you do the best you can to keep the soil from eroding. Building your house in sod seems to be a pretty good idea. I would say that building your house on frozen tundra would be a good idea too, except for the fact that the frozen tundra is now melting. So I guess what I say is build your house in an area where it's dry and geologically stable. I can't even remember what used to be there. I'm telling you, man, I will not be able to recognize this place. Maybe even 5 years. Like whoever's got a house there for a lease, I don't think you're gonna keep it that long, man. I think they're squeezing you out. Jeff Team, okay. You got an Asian realtor. An Asian realtor in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. Hope he's keeping his horizons open. But no, the people in these neighborhoods, I guess they do it the right way. It's a $300,000 house, and you get you 3 people that can pay $100,000 each. Or you get you 5 people that can pay $50,000 each. 5 or 6 people. What I can't figure out is they must be renting. So, but if they were buying the house, how did they buy the house? You know, how did they get the good enough credit? And the only thing I can think is you get a married couple, 2 people with those income combined, maybe they would have enough to get a $300,000 house. Me myself, I couldn't get one, but if I had a wife or a decent co-signer, maybe we can get a $300,000 house. That's how it's supposed to work now. You're supposed to have people with sufficient enough income that both can qualify for $150,000 a piece. You just have to figure that out. Yeah. Like I said, single people apparently aren't supposed to have houses. And then a guy like me, like the housing where I live is supposed to be for single people. They're small houses, they're not really meant for a whole lot of folks. But a whole lot of folks live in those houses. And they bring the neighborhood down. Because more people in the house tear up everything faster. And the people that are staying in that house, they couldn't stay anywhere else. These are people that couldn't even get an apartment in a low rent area. That's how bad off they are. So they're living with family in a 2-bedroom house in a 70-year-old neighborhood. The house was already dogged out when they got in there. They're dogging it out even further. what's the high side hustle? Sometimes, a lot of times, the side hustle in my neighborhood is something that isn't legal. Unpermitted building, drugs, you name it. There might even be prostitution going on around where I'm at. I don't really keep up with it. I said unpermitted work, I mean undocumented work also. Get your social security number from a dead kid. For a place that pays cash under the table. I remember I was trying to be all polite and PC about it, and I was telling the guy, I said, yeah, the place has gone kind of downhill since, he said, you can say it, and then, since they moved in. I was like, yeah. I still can't say it, but yeah. And then again, they said the same thing about us as the black people. And there never were really that many black people in this neighborhood. A few sprinklings here and there. These were all like white jet setters, and some middle class families were in there. We had that one upper class family, and they looked around and they saw who was moving in next door. They moved to Colorado. Like anybody who had the money to move out moved out. They looked around and they said, oh hell no, I ain't taking no Felipe or Hector, and they were out. And I was just like, damn. Well, like Felipe and Hector are okay people. It's like, I don't care how okay they are. It's like, it's who they're related to. And I was like, yeah, I get what you mean. So they bounced. And sometimes I say the neighborhood's not that bad, and then the kid gets shot in front of the house. I say the neighborhood's not that bad, and then the house blows up because somebody did unpermitted work. Not because of what the news media says about, oh, you guys need to dig up all these gas lines, they're just old and dangerous. I was like, that's part of it possibly. But when you mix that in with somebody did repairs to the house, cash under the table. Broke into. And they don't call the police, and I'm just like, that's kind of like, why would you not call the police? Because A, it was somebody they knew, or B, they don't believe in the cops, so this stuff just keeps happening. A, somebody they knew, B, they don't believe in the cops, or C, they're not doing something legal themselves. Then you think, oh, it's not that bad in your neighborhood. And then you got a dude, he's got an illegal car repair shop in his house, or in the backyard. They're bringing in wrecked cars and in the middle of the night and early in the morning. And they're working on those things. I got about 2 or 3 car shops in our neighborhood suddenly. I tell people about this stuff and they're just like, well, my HOA would never let that happen. I was like, oh, you have an HOA. Like, HOAs are only good for one thing, and that is they are the bar that keeps bad neighbors from entering your neighborhood. If a bad neighbor does get in there, the HOA will drive them out or drive them insane. At least that's the aggressive ones, not the ones where it was a couple of people thought it'd be a good idea and they're trying to collect fees from you and you just ignore them. It's like, they're gonna put a lien on the house, whatever. Yeah, I'd have bought that condo. I'd have bought that condo in a heartbeat if I knew that, like, if they told me all bills paid, I'd have been living in there. I'd be doing boring Farmer's Branch. It was like $400 a month. I was like, what do I get with that? Well, we take care of the common area and water and trash and the exterior of the condo. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, so basically nothing. I was like, you do nothing for me. I was like, I'm subsidizing some old asshole their condo.